start to breathe and focus on that breath. It's just your natural breath, whatever that is. And I hope that everyone can hear me, but you're too far away for me to tell. Really? All you need to do is to be able to see me. The intention for the practice today is to just be present. Enjoy yourself on your mat. Escape for about 20 minutes. Take another 2 breaths with me here. And again, just natural breath. Let's start getting a little more active. So if you're in that bound child's pose like I am, start to take your arms forward, tent your fingers, and push back so that you're trying to get your butt as close to your heels as you can. And let's start to fishtail a little bit here. So just walking from one side to the other. Hello. And to the other. And just like in the Reformer studio, with yoga, I give people a lot of chances to kind of play and discover things themselves. So start moving in whatever way you choose. I'm going to start adding little twists, like little thread the needle twists. I'm just going to reach under, and reach under. Keep going side to side. And remember that I encourage you to, what's the opposite of keeping up? Keeping true to what you want to do. So if you think that you are lagging behind or racing ahead, well, you're not. So you can just keep on doing what you'd like to do. I'm doing one more twist. And coming forward for some cat and cow. So bring the knees under the hips. You got wrist, elbow, and shoulder. And start that round spine. Push the ground away. Really pull the belly in. Even work the muscles of your neck. And then as you inhale, push the chest forward and hollow out the back. So you could work from the middle of the body here. That was my original instruction, working from the middle, like a heart focus, pulling in and pushing out. You could also do little body rolls, and we love a body roll. So you can start to roll from the base or the top, where you roll through. And start to play a little bit more with maybe circles, weight shifts. Get out some of those pops, right? We have the pops to get out. You could change the positioning of your hands. If you want to do some more forearm stretches, you're welcome to do those. Oof. And this next one is maybe not exactly for the faint of heart. But if you wanted to, you could bring your knuckles down. So this is the top of the hands down. You could do cat and cow here too. Just an option, just a choice. Whatever you're doing, give yourself 3 more breaths to do it in. There's 1, and 2. And then let's all go to our first downward facing dog. You'll notice I snuck in an extra breath there. So tuck your toes, lift, push back, start walking in place. Allow hips to sway. Maybe your body sways. You can look under one side or the other. And then let's find stillness here. So heels pressing down towards the ground. They never have to touch it. Bend your knees, lift your sit bones high, and then with strong fingers and strong arms, push yourself back. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, maybe you push your heels towards the floor. We have a lot of stillness in this practice, and this is your first bit of stillness, so enjoy it. When you're ready for a change, stillness well, all good things come to an end, and the stillness period does. So start to walk forward into ragdoll. Feet are hip width distance or wider. Maybe you're cupping opposite elbows. Maybe you'll follow me as I just start to kind of knuckle graze. So I just sweep and sweep. And then maybe the arms will start to wrap and wrap. And then maybe you cup the opposite elbows and you kind of keep that swinging feel. And on your next exhale, sigh out, stop and drop the hands. And as you inhale, start to walk up. Slowly uncurl, unfurl. And let's come to the front of the mat. So if you're in a small space, you're in very good company because the wall is just right here. Come to the front of your mat, as close to the front as you can get. Bring your big toes together and close down the eyes. Let the hands be heavy. And just for a second, feel everything pulling in to support your skeleton. So I could go bit by bit, but if you just activate your muscles and kind of hug in, they feel like they lift you. And we'll take a couple of breaths. So I've got eyes closed for this. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then just let it go. Do one more. And then stop at heart center. So let's do that single. We might do maybe 2 rounds of Sun A, but unlock the knees, inhale, lift up, gentle back bend if you wish. I mean, this is a gentle back bend. Maybe this is, whatever it is for you. As you exhale, bend your knees, float down. Make sure you don't hit anything on your way down. Tuck your chin. Hands to your shins, flat back. So think about making a number 7 with your body and press your heart forward. As you exhale, hands down, step back to high plank, right? It's not a class without a plank. It's definitely not a class without a plank. Knees can be down, of course. Please feel free. Take a big breath in, shift your weight forward, whether knees are down or up. And as you exhale, float down to the mat. Slowly with me, we go 5, 4, 3, 2, and all the way down and flatten your feet. Inhale, and lift to baby cobra. As you exhale, come down, bend the knees, press back. You're in downward facing dog. Maybe you took an extra breath. Bend your knees to look forward, step to the front. If you want to hop, please feel free to hop, but this is not a hopping class, necessarily. Inhale, reach up. So go a little bit quicker through that, but not much. Exhale, diving down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, back and down. On the same exhale if you can. On your inhale, just a gentle baby cobra, or if going into upward facing dog is what you do, make sure thighs are off the ground. And exhale, back to downward facing. Bend your knees like you're going to pounce and look forward. Step your right foot ahead, and if it doesn't get there, use your right hand to take it there, and bring your left knee down. So the gentle yoga starts now. We go into Anjaneyasana, the goddess pose, so breathe in. And as you exhale, sink down. Now, if your knee needs padding, if you prefer to have your hands on your thigh, please do that. We're going to be here for just a little while, so it would be your left kind of quadriceps and hip flexors that are getting that stretch feel. You might find that you have a little extra room, so you can just hop that knee back a little bit too. I have no hard and fast rules for this class. 3 breaths, 5 breaths, as long as we got the breath, that's all that matters. We're going from Anjane, the goddess, to the monkey, half Hanumanasana for me. You can do full splits if you're ready and that's what you do, but on your exhale, send it back. Think about lifting the chest, maybe tucking the chin, maybe you pull the toes back. You can use your left hand for that too. Now I'm going to go back through these just a little bit quicker. You could stay slow, you could hold, otherwise just kind of make it your own. Come into Anjane, and then Hanuman. Breath in, breath out. in, breath out. One more time forward, and then we'll hold when we move back. So developing here, or not. Maybe you like this place, and this is where you want to be. Maybe you're just itching to go into your full splits, or however you want to get there. Feel free. I just didn't take my foot forward. I kind of wodge, squidge, shimmy and shake. I have weight in my hands, and I'm just staying in this shape. I want to make sure that my left knee does not roll out, so my left knee is firmly on the mat there. It makes me feel like I'm confident in this pose. I'm never going to get to splits, not in this 20 minutes, maybe not in this 20 years, and that's okay. Last breath in. As you exhale, start to walk your hands back. Keep the weight in your hands. Drag your foot, and if you wrinkle up your mat, awesome. Better wrinkling up your mat than yourself. Come back into a lunge. Sink in and start to twist. You're twisting to your right, so bring your left hand in close and twist. And then play around with it. So I'm starting to press my leg out and rolling onto that pinky edge of my foot. You can see I'm moving my left hip forward and back. And now an easy twist. Stay in the twist that you're creating. If you want to take hold of that back foot, please do. Last breath. And then undo. Step back to downward facing dog. Grace is not a priority here. You just get back to downward facing dog in your way. A little shimmy of the legs. We'll go to the other side. So bend like you're going to pounce. Left foot forward. Right knee down. Anjaneyasana. I might bring my hands down this time. One more breath. And then half Hanuman. This was, holding something back, flipping the toes, lifting the chest. I'm really feeling this in my legs today. I've been doing my lovely magnetic bike. Oh, my calves really need it. And let's go forward and back. So inhale, exhale, in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath and hold. Did you develop? Develop it this time as well. Remember the weight in your hands. And we want to push up to an edge, but not like a hard edge, right? Sunday self-care soft edge. Say it 5 times fast. And just breathe in that place. Two more breaths. And then coming back into your lunge so you can wrinkle the mat up, wrinkle up the towel. And you'll have to pardon me as I twist away from you. You're twisting to your left. And we kind of played with it, right? You roll the foot around a little bit. Move the hips around a lot. When you find a twist that you like, settle in. And if you held your back foot, one of my favorite stretches ever, then hold your foot again. 2 soothing, soothing breaths. And release. I'm going to step back to downward facing dog because I just want to shake the legs out. And it takes a big push to get there. Shake it, shake it. When you're ready for a change, come forward and just bring your knees down. We're going to do a little bit of toe sitting, so please tuck your toes. So this is the foot version of having your fingers pulled back. Don't be surprised if it doesn't feel completely soothing. It may never be soothing, but it will feel nice afterwards. This could be enough. Or maybe you sit back further. Or maybe you're taking hands to heels or hands back. Those who want something especially energetic can also lift into more of a back bend feel, kind of like a camel and toe sitting hybrid. But I'm just going to have my hands back here. Let's take 3 really elasticized breaths, like those really stretched out, drawn out breaths. Last one. How does it feel? Climb out carefully. Pretend there's a rope. Pull on the rope. And then tap your feet on the ground. Little tap, tap, tap. Swing your butt to one side. And we're coming into Gomakasana with two versions. So if you want to do the normal cow face pose, bring your left leg in, take your right leg on top. And try to stack your knees, pull stuff out of the way. It's your anatomy, you can touch it. If sitting like this doesn't feel good, you can straighten your left leg. Or maybe you'd like to wind down even further and you just lie down on your back. So if you're going to lie on your back for this shape, you can hold your feet. This becomes more of a shoelace pose. Either way. If you're seated, sit. Left arm for the full bind, or forget it altogether. We've got 5 breaths here, not 10, but 5. And I'll hold my arm for the bind. For my last 3 breaths, I'm going to fold. So I push my head into my arm, and I just tip forward. Final breath. So lift it up all the way. Unbind. And switch sides. I'm doing the fancy change. I wish I could see you do the fancy change with me. Here it is. If you want to follow along, you go towards your left, you turn around, turn around, turn around. Re-pretzeled. Love re-pretzeled. If you got lost, because I did promise wind down, that was a little energetic. If you got a little lost, your left leg is on top of your right, maybe you lie on your back, whatever you did last time. Adjust so that your knees are on top of each other, as much as your hamstrings, your hips allow. And maybe you do the bind. Maybe you don't. 5 breaths. Wonderful fat hips, those abductor muscles that help us to navigate that uneven terrain, helping us to walk strongly. We'll be doing quite a bit of that over the next couple of days, I suppose. If you folded last time, please feel free to fold again. shake the shoulders. Let's go into Paschimottanasana, so just turn to one side. Paschimottanasana is a seated fold, an essential fold, and probably the thing that we look forward to at the end of every yoga class. Jump out of the trunk first so that you're on your sit bones. You could sit on a cushion or a block if you have that, and I always do this with slightly bent knees at the start to breathe in. And then as I exhale, I try to bring chest to thighs. So instead of touching my toes, that's not my aim. How close can I get to myself? Maybe you hold your feet, your legs, or nothing. And maybe you try to make the legs a little straighter. I try to draw my shoulders down, and I love doing this wave-like undulation through my spine. And not only because it was the theme of last week's classes, but because I like to do it. So inhale, lift your chest, and as you exhale, lower it. Breathe in, and breathe out. Feel free to keep doing that. Otherwise, I'm just doing it one final time. And here I stay. So we have a handful of breaths here. What can you do to be a little softer in this place? Maybe you need to wriggle your jaw. Maybe you just need to stop holding onto your feet. Two more breaths. For my last two breaths, I'm going to place my hands on my head and just let the weight of my hands kind of stretch deeper into my neck. Releasing, slowly walking your hands up your legs. I'm doing counter pose at Purvottanasana, so that's your big tabletop pose. Lift up out of yourself, fingers pointing to feet, and then lift. You could lift here. You can use bent legs or straight legs. 3 breaths in this big tabletop. Dig your feet into the ground. Press up out of the earth. Last breath. And we all come back to earth. I'm going into Supta Baddha Konasana now, so I slide forward. I don't want to hit the wall after all. Then I bring the soles of my feet together and come on down. You could clasp opposite elbows for that full kind of bow tie shape. Or have your arms just by your sides. And as you take your final few breaths of this class, you can just let yourself sink into the mat. And if this shape isn't the shape for you, then make another shape, do a different pose. Take the final 2 breaths here, and then we can start stirring and moving. So my first big action is unbinding, uncupping the elbows, and then I separate my feet just a little bit as I rock my pelvis one side to the other. These little pops in the lower back. It feels, well, it doesn't feel bad. If it's better than bad, it's good. Feel free to either stay lying down and the live stream will end and you can keep on maxing and relaxing, or maybe you want to finish seated with me. So I'm going to hug my knees in and I'm just rolling up to seated. So hug into a ball and then roll it up. Everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. So I see you. It's not just through eyes, right? We see one another, we sense one another, and we honor all that we share. So I see you, namaste. I see you wherever you're watching from. The setup here, I'll post it. It's pretty wild. Have a lovely rest of the day, and